I think the concerning thing is Luminosity losing on Haven. I think that is the
Yeah.
big thing that sticks out to me. I have no idea about Kudos, honestly. I'm just going to come out and say I don't know any of the players. I don't recognize any of the players, and I'm coming in fresh. But I do know a lot of the LG players. I know Stellar, Aproto, Thief, Mada, KZ as well. So
Yeah, it's a pretty familiar roster, at least on the side of LG.
yeah,
Obviously, we just had a series with them earlier that ended up being a three-map barn burner with a lot of incredibly close situations, but it ended up being relatively one-sided on map number 3. Not sure if that's sort of the scenario that we're going to see, but it's pretty similar to what we saw from Kudos. They finally just got done with their series that they had against the Clappening, the team that eliminated Cloud9 White in the round of 128, ended up completely being crushed by Kudos. Map number 1 was incredibly close, 16-14 in favor of Clappening, but it was reverse sweep from there on out, being both 13-4 and 13-6 wins. And that 13-4 win that I mentioned was actually on Haven. So it's kind of important to keep that one in mind because for that reason alone, I can actually realistically expect maybe Kudos to take this one off.
yeah, I think that could be interesting. The win here for Kudos would be huge, and at least assuming based off of what teams usually do, picking defense on maps that aren't their pick. LG starting on defense makes me think that Kudos picked this. And that could be huge. Kudos going with a confidence pick against LG, who just had theirs shaken on this map. That could be a very, very, very big thing. And a huge start to Kudos, too. If they could pick up the first map against a pretty well-known roster, a pretty established roster, too.
And that's like the really scary thing too is that I mean all in all LG have had a fantastic record on basically every time that they have played Haven. So ignoring that single upset that we are just able to witness, it has been incredibly one-sided in the favor of LG. So I wouldn't say it's time to exactly get scared yet, but judging by how LG are playing this one, they are holding no bars, or they're barring no holds, excuse me, you don't want to reverse that statement, and will immediately go ahead and allow Kudos to get the plant down with a really strange V execute, tons of smoke across the server. There was a push out from LG over towards A that ended up actually amounting to basically nothing just because simply there was nobody there, nobody home. And Kudos very quickly will actually go ahead, play the spike, and although they're a player down, actually have a little bit of promise to maybe snatch this one away. Drone will go ahead and find out the position of one. BKZ able to finish things up. But I have to say, Kudos are fighting back really, really well. They actually managed to take it away. There it is, towards the end. A blistering fashion, 3 kills appear in the kill feed. And I was going to try to toss that one over to you so you could go ahead and take us away for the execute, but it seems that there's no lull in the action whatsoever. And it will be Kudos taking the first, so keeping up the surprise.
That reminded me a lot of Vertigo A site on pistol rounds. Just smokes down, get the bomb plant, and hope it works. And that's kind of exactly what happened there. They had the smokes down, got the spike through, and just played the post plants in a 5v5, won a lot of their duels. And really overall for kudos to them for picking up that first round. It's a good start here. And LG not going to really force back into this one either. A couple light pistols out. Maybe a bit of damage here to be done here. Over towards long A. Ooh, get spot out early and has to dash away here. Going to fall all the way back towards site. And no kills will go either way just now. No damage either, so all's well that ends well in the terms of LG and Kudos. They have long control now, so they do gain that. Still, though, they're going to try and take this momentum to the bank. Zebroe will actually get the first onto Stellar. That's going to be a good start. The hit will not commence just yet onto the A site, though. Kudos going to stall out and wait. See if LG get a little more aggressive. Use that owl drone to scout out the site, too. But the hit should be coming in here pretty quickly.
Oh. They spotted that second player over towards short as well. That was something that LG realistically could have kind of banked on. That player over towards short maybe acting as a bit of a backstab for an inevitable push coming on. But I think Kudos might have second thoughts about actually going in. We're still kind of in that mid-round lull that I mentioned. There is a push from mada coming in through window, but you have to keep in mind, be realistic here. Excuse me. They have classics.
30
they have
seconds left.
A couple of upgraded pistols. This doesn't seem fantastic. And so the push will begin, and Kudos, well, they'll be immediately halted by one player. The Spectres otherwise will come online and do the damage that you would expect the upgraded SMGs and rifles to do. And LG, although they fight back a little bit, getting a couple kills here and there, will be the expected result. everyone would be expecting the SMGs to beat out the pistols, and this won't be any different of a situation. Only 2 fatalities found by the Luminosity gaming squad in that round, as we head to a potential 3-0. LG look to maybe go ahead and switch things up here. This is a bit of a bonus, isn't it?
A bit of a bonus. It's a heavy bonus round coming in from Kudos. Those 2 players they lost, Fletcher and Jonah, just going to go for sheriffs and armor. Everybody on Kudos can reinvest into the next round. It's something that you don't normally see a lot of teams do when they have this bonus round. They usually have their fallen comrades go for a full buy, usually rifles up. Kudos don't want to do that, and I like that move. Well, initial damage out towards long. Forces the Jett away, and again, long control, a gain by Kudos. It's a good start again. Zebroe getting that owl drone up. They have a lot of information. Stellar gets caught looking the wrong way, shooting at the owl drone instead of the players. Fletcher catches Casey, reloading and out of ammunition. Mada and Thief, though, trading back. A second for Thief is absolutely huge. Yeah. And the spike is down on site. Recon, Bolt tagging down a bit of information. Shock dart to go through as well. Might do some damage. Teddy on the slurp, though, could be huge. Drop by aproto. It's all down to a 1v3. Zebroe, a Spectre in hand. Does not have the spike, though, and does not have much of a chance here, but does have a lot of time.
Yeah, pretty stable overall. LG with their pretty, I would say, aggressive A-hold. It was very safe positions that they were playing. It was just kind of a make a little bit of contact KZ and then dash away as soon as he actually met somebody. If they didn't get an instant frag, cool. Don't try to overdo it or anything like that. Just go ahead and let the fights happen on the site itself. LG, once push comes to shove, will be able to find the frags that they need. A little bit of hesitation from Kudos, most definitely, considering how much they had going for them. It looks like Hira is actually still going for this. Unfortunately, he is not going to be ready for the player actually sitting on site, so it wasn't time for me to get excited. At least he gets one more kill before he falls, but that was a bonus. Let's go ahead and gather ourselves, be realistic with what we can expect from this one. LG will take it. Great. They have succeeded. They have done their mission. Now you actually have to do it when the rifles are brought to the table, and Kudos will be trying their absolute hardest with an even artillery. I'd argue a better artillery, because KZ actually has a Marshal.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean, the Marshal is good for tagging, but it's not exactly the best for getting kills. Unless you hit the headshot. Does have a very fast fire rate, though, so maybe could get something here.
With a tag or two. I mean, the dash away strap that I mentioned.
Oh, the
headshot, duck right into it.
Yep, that's unfortunate there. Oh, here we go, KZ heating up here. Grabs a second on the Marshal. Dispelling Law and Order here on a long. Gets a tag. Not a third kill, though. Jonah will catch it off. Stellar pushing up towards short. Gets dinked down. That's a lot of damage dealt, but still. 4v2 and almost a 4v1 as Zebroe tagged down through garage door as well. All the damage going back the way of LG. There was a prime opportunity here for Kudos to grab this round back, considering they went into this with full rifles, and LG were limited with that Marshal, with the Spectre on Stellar as well. Proto just holding down. Gets traded. Okay, double for Fletcher. This actually could work. Stellar's low.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's not over yet. That teleport, I was about to say, the From the Shadows could do them a lot of good, completely throwing a wrench into the plans that LG had on their retake. Going to make them completely shift up how they handle it, and that's going to be a free plant all the way down. I'm wondering, does he TP into heaven? Yes, there seems to be a resounding yes. That hasn't been heard by LG, but they can easily trade each other out. If they have a solid enough grasp on the fundamentals, there is no goddamn way they're actually going to let this one happen. But Fletcher waits in heaven. The spam down gives away his location, but it's nothing that he can do about it. Jumping from heaven will fall into hell as he goes down, and you can see LG can't kind of believe the luck. It practically fell into their crosshairs there, Boggs.
Quite literally fell into the crosshair. Doesn't get any easier than that. Yeah. That's a good dark cover there in heaven from Stellar, though, really forcing Fletcher into a really awkward spot. And all that damage going the way of KZ early on almost went to the wayside. But it does get converted in the end the way of LG. A pretty critical round for them to gain as well. Puts them en route to grab a third. If they can get that momentum going, get that confidence back here on this map, it would be absolutely huge for them. Blades are out for Hira, though. Trying to be the hero here. Sheriffs and pistols out for the rest of Kudos. I believe they have one SMG on the board overall, too. But still, not exactly what you expect to win. Up against the full rifles here of LG. Good dark cover there from Stellar Rust to solo hold the A site. Normally you see like a Cypher trying to solo hold a site. Don't normally see an Omen trying to solo hold. It's a good little one-way smoke there from Hira. Hunter's Fury comes in, gets a tag, and will do another tag onto the spike planter. The plant still goes through. Chuck Dart goes in. Will not connect onto anybody here. Stellar out through heaven, trying to rain some hell down from above. Will spray down here. That got a little messy there. He does convert the frag. Still 5v4. Retake was a 5v5. Chance for Zebroe down on side. Fletcher holding in through hell. The push is going to come through the CT con. Jonah walking through that dark cover. Not going to catch anything out yet. Fletcher has to get one. Does get one. But Mada does one better. 2 kills and 2 for aproto. Headshots flying across the board for LG. Green filling the scoreboard. And LG, they grab a lead after losing the first 2 rounds. It's a little too early to say with confidence, but maybe they're back.
I would like to believe that, and I'm pretty sure if you're LG loyal, you would feel the exact same way, but Kudos, you know, they've kept it competitive at some points. You have to be realistic with what you can expect on a round that was otherwise just kind of filled with sheriffs. They got the spike down, a couple of frags for good measure, and well, you'll be cooking with gas for this one. Kudos, having rifles all across the board, will be very happy with their phantoms. I'm looking at how this CT setup has adjusted. You notice that Stellar probably is going to try to push behind this. That deep dark cover is just going to try to find some early info, but only going for the cam. Doesn't want to try to push his luck. So it's really kind of interesting to see just in the early days how LG have been adjusting their setup. Remember that, you know, before they're keeping 2 players. Now, again, it's shifted back to that default with 2 players at A, but you know, LG, they're still trying to take some fights early here. They're waiting for first contact to be made. They're not sitting on sites. Because they know that Kudos are more than willing to try to take fights at their own regard. Hunter's Fury out will be actually not that effective. Kill! Okay, never mind. Meanwhile, I was looking at the Hunter's Fury, like 5 or 6 kills just went through. A little bit surprising, but it does seem to be favoring the Kudos side, so we might be seeing an even scoreboard on our hands here, Boggs. Although it might not be as easy as Kudos would have believed. Stellar's in on the back line, and he's only found 1 kill, but thing is, this is potentially another one for him right here. Don't peek that one. Be incredibly careful. I think that Breach realizes it. He still tries to temper the beast anyway. Luckily, it comes out in his favor, and that'll be another one from Kudos. Just a flurry of kills in the kill feed. Quite impossible to catch all the action and read off that kill feed, because that's Kudos being able to trade each other out rather well. That's the solid fundamentals that you need to have. But behind that Hunter's Fury, they're all just running up through C, and I feel like that was super important. LG really had no decent response to it, and well, they at least kept it close in a number of rounds, in a number of situations rather. It ended up going their way. Kudos now even things up, and we'll find ourselves in another awkward situation for LG.
They are in a bit of an awkward spot, but I want to go back to that round real quick before this push comes in towards C. But Hira used that Hunter's Fury as a huge distraction. Gonna charge and lead in towards the C side again, but aproto's just gonna hold. Very good hold there from aproto. Gets caught in the fault line and has a bullet to the head. Zebroe takes him down. 4v4 trade. Teddy again lurking out towards Garage 2. Was towards B the last round. Tries a different spot this time. Blades are out for Ksiaze. Could grab something, especially if he's looking the right way. Does have the information, but does not get the kill there. Teddy again hits the headshot and the follow-up body spray. Good work there, but the spike's going to rotate away from C, and I like this call from Kudos. You have a lot of pressure towards the site. You're going to keep these players here, but what they don't expect is that Stellar has pushed through all of A long, clearing A main. They're clearing the angle, though, and Stellar doesn't connect that shot. Needs to hit the head there. Needs to at least get one. That's going to signal the round for Kudos. I don't think there's a way that Thief can pull this back. I don't think there's a way that LG can pull this back, although Thief has gotten here quickly enough. They're just going to rotate back again.
Left.
What? Oh, then maybe they're outthinking it at this point, but I mean, the problem is for LG is that if they try to go all through their spawn again, there's going to be someone in the form of Teddy who's going to be waiting for them. So the only option for LG would be going through the B-bomb site, and potentially the members of Kudos could be there as well. So really lots of concerns to be had for LG at the moment. It seems that the least of which is actually the numbers that they're dealing with. And caught on rotation will indeed be Mada. That round was over, as you mentioned, Boggs, basically as soon as it became 2-on-4. As soon as that anchor over at A died, you know, the entire map kind of belongs to Kudos. You can't try to go ahead and overhype it too much as LG possibly being able to pull it back, because Thief, although he had an opportunity to pop off if it actually eventually ended up being towards A, that was just not given by Kudos. They have been playing really, really well in some of these mid to late round scenarios just in the early days of Haven, and are definitely impressing me. A group of relative people I don't exactly know. I'm not going to say no-namers. That's too harsh of a criticism, but players that I haven't gotten familiar with the names of yet already have been at least keeping things competitive as they take the lead against LG on map number 1. This is going to be a very long best of 3, I feel like, if it keeps up in this fashion. But I'm wondering if LG try to stop it right here or they give up another, because look at the eco bongs. It is shambolic.
Half it. You got to go for a half buy here. I don't think you go for a full investment. I don't like the call for Mada to go for a full buy. I think it's going to put yourself in a really bad spot. You haven't been winning your aim duels. And the only time force buys work is when you're winning your aim duels. LG have not won their aim duels consistently. Kudos have been winning the majority of those, particularly Teddy as well. Teddy's been huge for Kudos the entirety of this series so far. He's been their, I would say, most critical player right now. If I had to call it an MVP of the game, of the match, I'd give it to Teddy right now, but that's a huge kill from Thief. Steals away that critical player, that key man from Kudos. And that's a good start there for LG to start things off. I like the aggression from KZ out towards Garage as well. Gonna have to fall back towards C, but have that information, had that presence. Kudos very spread out right now. One aggressive long, one passive A main. And now I think they will group up towards A again. It has been Old Faithful. It will be their side again to take. There's still 2 players here. Stellar is not going to be solo holding it. That's something that they've capitalized on multiple times too, is the solo hold from Stellar. They're going to walk up the A-long position. Nobody's splitting from short. And Thief still has that Phantom.
Doesn't seem to be that easy though. LG are holding strong and fighting back with a passion. The force-up does seem to be relatively fruitful. They're trying to deny the bomb plant, but try as they might, Kudos will still stay strong. Shock darts, the Hunter's Fury, a recon dart for good measure. They know exactly where this bomb planter is, but good luck actually finding a clean shot on him. There's another player, the Omen in question for Kudos, actually still hiding behind the site, dancing around the boxes, but it's Zebroe to find first, and there it is, Fletcher collecting a quad. It's like you said, Boggs, again, you know, LG just cannot win these straight-up gunfights in a lot of scenarios. The only reason that it got that close, I feel like, at the beginning is one, aproto finding a wonderful double with the Sheriff, but also because of that nice little setup that they had going on over towards short between Thief and Stellar. Since Stellar wasn't exactly the most well-equipped with his artillery, just tossing a flash, or he actually didn't even need to toss that paranoia, excuse me, and Thief was able to find a free aim duel. That's not always the sort of thing that you can rely on, but if LG keep up this sort of fashion, you know, in a variety of situations, I could see this working out. It's far from a done deal. This is still the early days of Haven, all things considered, but at least Kudos have been impressive to me on Haven. LG just kind of need to adapt to those fights.
Kudos are impressing, I'd have to say, but LG look flat. Here they come, though. Mada's going to get 2 kills. Jonah turns it back to 4v3. Spike's still in cubby, but that is a bit of a problem for Kudos. Teddy, though, on the lurk. Can he be huge again? Will fall the Thief. That's 2 rounds in a row. If somebody's coming online for LG, it might as well be Thief. Very good player and a very critical one, it seems, right now for LG. Giving them life and hope right now. The Spike still stuck out towards C long. Zebroe not going to abandon his comrade. And Zebroe and Jonah kind of just stuck between a rock and a hard place. Wherever they go, there will be trouble. If they stay, it might be double.
Well, they're kind of locked in, though. That's the problem, Boggs.
Yeah.
I was wondering why Kudos weren't deciding to try to fake it or, you know, completely give up presence of C-Long to try to make a little bit more of an argument whether they could rotate B or A, but time is of the essence, and the rotates are not there. LG most certainly are. Wow, that isn't even going to be an argument. Once they actually push through, LG are waiting. They are loyal to the C site, aren't they? And they will easily find themselves those remaining 2 kills. That's it. Simple, clean job from LG. I believe only having 1 fatality as well. They stay strong. And that is one hell of a response. Again, we're talking big game about Kudos, but now they need to reply with this newfound problem, this newfound issue that LG have now brought to the table. Being the, again, big overdogs, I'd argue, for this series. Kudos have already impressed me, and I'm ready to be shocked.
KZ does not connect that first operator shot. Stellar is towards the brick still as well. First kill goes his way. Will not be able to land that paranoia, though. Fletcher continues to push around the corner. KZ in a rough spot, but Thief has rotated in to reinforce. No push up short, but look at Teddy continuing to work up towards B. The lurks from Teddy have been so huge, been critical for Kudos. I keep saying it again, but that's really what's been allowing Kudos to win a lot of these rounds, is Teddy just coming in, throwing a spanner in the works of LG's gears and shutting them down from the backside. They are grouping up, though, 4v4. I want to see a little more tactical diversity from Kudos, though. They basically either get a pick, or it goes to an even scoreline, or they go down, they group up, they go either A or C. And most of those times, it just goes a hailfire of bullets with every single player going in the same direction. They don't exactly have the most spread out formation. They don't exactly have the most splits coming through. Teddy! That was a huge opportunity on to KZ, and he lands it. Mada, though, through the dark cover, will catch off one. Fletcher's still alive. Thief comes in, though, and trades it out. 3v2. Mada's very low. Shock Dart could do some damage. Will do a lot of damage, actually. Mada not able to kill people. That's a kill Mada needs to have every day of the week. Fletcher holding things down. The 1 and 2 through the dark cover. And Kudos steal away a 6th round on the board. That's a huge round to win for Kudos. They at least have half of the rounds possible on the attacking side. And Fletcher.
It's more than just a scoreline.
Amazing. Oh, it's indeed. Look at the economy. That's an economic win. That was a swing round there. Winner of that round basically put the opponents in a rough spot economically. And it does go the way of Kudos. They have a Vandals, Sheriffs, and a Classic to go up against. Oh, Kudos. That's a huge win condition in the early stages. We're still not yet at the halfway point, but Kudos are giving themselves all they need to win this map.
The offensive side has seemed oh so favorable for them, but you see LG aren't trying to stay complacent. Now there's a push into window. Teddy, completely unaware, will be blindsided by a shot through from Thief, but that is now his position. Thief given up, and surely there's some sort of push. Thief, he can't believe his luck. He can't believe that he's actually going to be able to get out of here relatively unscathed. There's no fight at all, and that's the first time in a little while now that Kudos haven't had a reply to anything that LG have brought to the table. I'm wondering if this is going to be a sort of situation where you see something like the Hunter's Fury get used before they actually try to break in. It could either serve as a distraction or just a straight up entry. There's a ton of different things that they could do to actually break through. Apparently one of those options will be dry peeking in towards the A bomb site and catching KZ off guard. Sure, that works, and Kudos, if you can make that work for you, great. It doesn't seem like the most reliable thing in the world, but hey, Kudos have made it happen for at least 6 rounds so far. Who's to say it can't be number 7? Stellar still holds on the site with just a Sheriff in hand. LG, please don't tell me they're going to throw this one away. Kudos are fighting back and putting on one hell of an argument for themselves. Stellar, there he is around the corner, can only get one before he goes offline. Thief rounding the corner. Can't find anything either, so it's alternating colors in the kill feed. Kudos still taking this lead because trades favor the attacker, and this is going to be no different. Still, that Hunter's Fury remains, so you can maybe see a more passive position adopted by Kudos as we enter this retake scenario. LG still wanting to make this one happen, try to catch Zebroe off guard, but it's not going to be good enough. Mada on life support will fall victim, and there you have it. Kudos from a 4v5 still managed to stay strong throughout the entire ordeal. LG, they make it close with their Sheriffs, with all the weapons that they brought to this force-up round, but it's not good enough to actually make it number 5. And Boggs, heading into the last one of this half, we are once again on even footing, but I'm wondering if Kudos have enough momentum to go ahead and try to coast to maybe an 8th round.
I wouldn't say it's a coast. I would say it's going to be a hard-fought 8th if they do gain it. Especially considering it's going to be a full buy from LG, and they would not want to go down 8-4 to start the second half. It's still a good round on paper for Luminosity, and they want to make it a good round, a good map, and to really move on. They had a disappointing finish in the last qualifier. They want to make it into the first strike closed qualifier, excuse me. Spike's going to go down again. Thief pushing through, going to spam!
What? He's
Holy
alive?
Thief, you did, like, no damage at all. Thief will finally finish up and make up for his transgressions, but that spike's been taken away for a bit now. It's allowed Kudos to get some good post plants. Look at Teddy on that flank as well. Could just come in and catch off a proto from behind. Hunter's Fury chiming in here. Rolling Thunder coming through. Hira lands one onto a proto. That lurk no longer a factor. Thief 1-for-1, 3v3. Jonah dropping in that concussive blast as well. KZ and Mada, though, mopping it up. KZ drops back to sight. Mada gonna hold that defuse. KZ locking things down. It will be a 5th on the board for LG, but you can't help but feel a little disappointed if you are LG, only managing 5 rounds out of this half against a team that is relative unknowns compared to you.
It was an incredibly hard-fought battle, but that is the sort of situation that you come across when it's the last round and a half. So many ultimates expended just to make ends meet. LG do come out your victors. 3 guns down, though, you know, Kudos, at least they're keeping themselves competitive. Maybe I did overhype that one a little bit when Kudos managed to come back from the 4v5, but it just kind of goes to show you that you always have to be scared of LG. Even with only Sheriffs or Bulldogs or something, they still are incredibly formidable, and that rifle round right there proved it. Smarter ultimate usage, and that retake was on fire. And what were you going to say?
I still don't think we're seeing the best LG possible.
Oh, 100%.
I think we're seeing a very weak LG.
It's hard to disagree with it. I mean, just in a number of cases, they're... In the last series in particular, I've noticed that LG have been losing a lot of their fights today. Maybe just a little bit cold. You know, the shots aren't registering the way they used to, or something of the sort. But that aside, LG still look to push and take fights of their own. And this is looking good for this first frag. KZ being able to find it. That's another situation I'm talking about. Thief is unable to find the frag on through until his second attempt actually gives him the chance to frag out hard. Be careful in the aim duels that you take. That goes for both Kudos and LG. Because, at least for that one right there, LG, although they struggled with it, at least got it through with only 1 fatality. It's a bit rough, though. This doesn't feel like the cleanest Valorant that LG have in times past brought, you know?
No, it doesn't. And Kudos are taking full advantage. And they're doing a great job of it. They played together as a team in that last half. They just pushed together and it worked. They won their aim duels. That's what it came down to.
No prisoners.
And it worked out perfectly for them. They might have to come up with a little something more right now. Maybe a little timed aggression, something along those lines. You're going to grab that ult orb and fall away for free. Nobody really challenging on the LG side. But I did notice that Kudos were a little one note on their offensive. If they don't have something a little more flavorful, a little more full of depth, their stew is going to be flat. It's not going to have
cook, aren't you?
all of that flavor, all of that just good old-fashioned layers that you need to have a good stew or a good team.
You're sounding like Gordon Ramsay right now, Boggs, but
I'm hungry.
I'm thinking right now, LG are going to try to ram into the site, so maybe it's a little bit fitting. They want to both bring up the pace. They realize what they're going to be up against. Pistols and nothing more. Who would have thought that's actually another pistol that's going to be the one to frag out hardest on the entry? Should be a clean site take, and I think it's what you mentioned, though. You know, it's just a little bit flat. Not really the best form from LG. But they're getting a couple of rounds. They're still keeping things competitive. It's going to be 7-7, almost surely. There is no way in hell that Kudos are actually going to be able to make a retake happen. But, you know, little bits of damage. Is this the right track for LG?
I think they are getting back on pace, but if they don't actually continue with it and continue to build upon it, they will fall flat again and Kudos will regain their momentum. But I think LG are starting to find their stride here. They had a couple good confident rounds here. Pistol round was very clean. This anti-eco was very clean for them. What?
Get on them to die. No?
Okay, yeah, ult points. I forget you get the ult points off
I know, right? That messed me up the first time I saw it as well. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, wait, no, that's
it
smart.
makes sense. I just didn't think about it for a second. I'm like, why are you going to die? Why are you going to give up your weaponry? They're on classics, so...
Yeah, no.
It's worth the ult point to kill the stats.
Oh, for sure. You know what? Kills aren't everything, right? I remember there was one game a bit earlier that we saw. It was another LG game, actually, thinking about it, where there was a player on one team runner who went, I think, 3-10, but his team won the maps 13-5, and was actually on Haven against LG as well. So I mean, it's still a pretty fitting scenario. Kills definitely aren't everything, or I suppose in this case, deaths. Maybe I can get the win nonetheless, but it's even territory for this one, Bog. Anything goes.
Yep. I do have an interesting idea that could balance that, though. If the spike planner gets the kills for people who die to that spike.
Oh.
Because I don't think you should get rewarded for suicide. I don't like that mechanic.
That's a good idea. No, I like the idea of it. Getting kill credit for planting the spike. Makes it so some of my teammates in ranked would do it, that's for sure.
I think that's a cool thing too, because it's like, yeah, you got the kill with it. Technically, you used it. Here we go, though.
Well,
it's gonna come
cool as
through.
It might be. I was gonna say, as cool as it might be, I don't think it's actually gonna amount to much of anything. Boggs, I'm sorry, I know you want to take this one away, but the way that things are moving, I'm not sure if either of us are really going to be able to take this one away. It's a complete slaughter on the site as Kudos look to push in. This is what I'm expecting out of LG. Kudos, they fight back well to find a couple of kills, but look at how this is going with aproto. He's just sitting in the back site and really kind of sitting, just waiting for fights to come to him. But of course, the only time that he aggresses, Kudos are able to capitalize upon it. Very strange kind of moves from them to actually dance around the boxes well enough, and Kudos, they take it, they defuse the bomb, and take the lead again.
Yes, they do. Was the bonus round from LG, though. That is the asterisk above that round. So that's the thing.
So yeah, they got that going for them, right?
Yeah. But look at the damage dealt to their economy. It's much the same as what we saw in the first half, where Kudos are now in the same position LG were. They have a Bulldog, an Ares, if I remember correctly there on the scoreboard, and a Spectre up against full rifles. It's not exactly the best hero, though, closing that gap. This could work! Takes down Ksiaze. It's a great start. Drops the operator. First thing goes the way of Kudos. And it's the aggression from Hira, just going balls to the wall, pushing down a long. And to get that first pick is absolutely huge for Kudos to boost their confidence and boost their momentum, to keep that seed of doubt growing in LG's mind, to become a vine that can topple the walls of the castle that is LG. Stellar, though, going to try and find a trade back, moving up towards the B site, clearing all the angles, but Jonah's got a good cross angle here. Has the Phantom in hand, goes for a peek, spots out one, and has a flash to hold him off. Dark cover's going through, but rotations are in as well. Again, first pick did go the way of Kudos. The hit's going to come through, and the site has been taken over by LG. But Luminosity just shed some light on the situation here. Thief goes aggressively, gets one. Aproto finds one as well onto Hira. Mada going full bore as well. It's going to be Thief to actually get that kill. Spike going down. LG starting to peek together. Still not so sure they know what they're doing exactly. Just running around the map, finding heads. Aproto going to take out Zebroe, and Teddy, the last alive, gets one, but traded out instantaneously. 8-8 the scoreline. And the gun's back in the hands of LG, and it goes their way.
Going to favor their economy as well. Kudos are going to be completely broke. I mean, LG played that one brilliantly. I have to say, you know, the B-bomb site is rife with a lot of retake potential, but they completely shut it down. Strong post-plant positions taken. And really, all in all, again, it feels like LG are just kind of waiting for Kudos to push into their crosshairs. It's the most literal sense of being able to frag out, but Kudos have been more than ready, or more than, welcome to just keep on doing that. That's another case where it just happened again. Aproto just has to hold the line, and then swinging in will be the knives from Kudos. Probably their best chance of being able to make this round happen. Seems to fall flat on its face. LG, with a little bit more fortitude, are fighting back hard, and this is going to be a good chance for them to economy a bit more, I have to say.
One enemy remaining.
Even more so now.
Yep. Don't think there's much Zebroe can do. Well,
not
that's
much.
a good way to.
Couple
That's
shots.
a good way to prove my point. Flawless victory there for LG. That's critical for them as well. It's something to build back upon. But Kudos are going to be back on the rifles. No operator, though, for Hira. That could be a little bit of a concern. They tried to shuffle the cash around, try to get that big sniper rifle in the hands of the Jett. It's not going to happen. LG will keep the rifles in the hands of their own team as well. KZ not going to go for the operator, and I think that's a good idea. KZ got caught with his pants down the last time he tried to go with the op, got rushed down by a Spectre. That will not happen again. It won't be allowed to happen again here. Hira not going to go for that full aggressive peek. Will just hold back by the bricks. An angle that has been played multiple times across this map so far. And we'll just dash away and retreat towards site. LG playing a very slow and passive default, trying to see if Kudos want to get aggressive and try and get something done here. But Kudos are playing a good passive hold, I believe. I think they're just going to hold and not really aggress onto anything. Use the drones for some information. They have the Cypher solo on the C side as well. It's a good setup. But overall, pretty par for the course here. But LG might start to move things ahead a little bit and push their way onto the C site.
Teddy holds the line though. He said that's a solo Cypher on this site, but that doesn't mean he's any less of a monster. Unfortunately, the monster won't be uncaged for this round. LG get onto the site relatively unscathed. Strong.
Spike planted.
Spike planted. It seems like on top of it, the Empress will be all done as well. Kudos, realistically, I think do have a chance to make this retake work out. The KZ watching the angle would have to win that fight, and there it is. That is the opportunity, the lifeline that Kudos were looking for. If they can keep up this kind of fight, half the trades go in their favor. It looks an awful lot like a win potentially for them. Thief rounding the corner, can't quite find the kill on the first full ray around, and so Jonah, unfortunately, will offer himself up a second time. That'll be LG taking it away. Kudos, unfortunately, will no longer stay even with one round apiece or anything of the sort. LG starting to really put on a decent streak at this point. 5 rounds in the second half to the 1 of Kudos. The upset doesn't exactly seem all too perfect right now, but there's still potential for it. Possibly not in this one, however. It seems an awful lot like an LG win because take all what Kudos have to work with. Upgraded pistols and not much more.
Sheriffs could do damage, but KZ starts it off nicely. Zebroe gets, whoa! Aproto and Thief getting simultaneous kills right there. Even just Teddy and Jonah left alive. Now just Jonah defends for himself. Gets nothing there. Another flawless victory for LG, and they've really come alive here in the later portions of this game. Towards the dying embers of the map here. LG, 2 rounds away from map number 1. My theory is it is Kudos' pick, given the fact that LG started on the defensive side. I don't think teams usually elect to start on the attack. Don't really have confirmation one way or the other whose map pick it was. This is all just speculation here. But it doesn't matter whose map pick it is. It's been close, and Kudos really had a good start there. They've just been unable to continue to move forward with that momentum. And I think their lack of tactical diversity has actually hampered them significantly in this one so far. Their setups are still relatively the same. They're still running a similar 2-1-2, or 1C, 1 garage. I consider that still towards C site. Not really a 1-1-1-2 in that sense. But there's really been nothing to mix things up for Kudos. No real timed aggression aside from that Spectre push from Hira on round number 4, I believe it was. Teddy, they're going to start things off nicely. That's a good opening kill into Thief, and that could go things the way of Kudos. Jonah taking out Stellar. That's huge. 2-man advantage for Kudos to try and bring things back here before it gets nigh unredeemable. Fault line in to stall the push, coming in again from Jonah. 3 players are left alive for LG, and all 3 going in towards garage. Smoke's not going to do anything. Jonah sees him through the cage and the sky smoke. Jonah comes in with a 3rd. Mada the last alive here. And the spike is down at the gates of the window. On the flank is Teddy. And on the ground is Teddy. But Mada will have to pull off a 1v4 to make this work. Actually, I think it might be a 1v5.
It's a trade out to make it 1v4, so just about, yeah. It's rough times, though. Really, you know, one thing I wanted to mention, maybe just kind of interject right off the bat, is that Fletcher and Teddy played that situation perfectly, Boggs. Because the thing is, I mean, Fletcher probably should have been dead meat. If Thief had the right idea on exactly how to go ahead and contest that angle, you know, tossed in the leer, excuse me, and then just went ahead and jumped right in. But Thief was waiting just at the perfect time. He rotated in through A link and was able to find that kill. I mean, if that went the other way, who knows what we could have been seeing. And then, of course, Jonah being massive from window helped the situation a little bit more. But that was so close to being scary for the other side. Kudos, though, they stay strong and they win their fights at a pivotal time. And they keep this game, this map, competitive. And this is what you love to see. A close, competitive game. And Kudos, definitely doing a lot to surprise me.
Yeah, Kudos are not done with this one just yet, and Hira's going to start things off. That's what I wanted to see, the operator in the hands of the Jett, and it works out for one. That's a great start here for Hira. The Thief has a lot of advanced position towards B.
Yeah.
That's the only problem, though, is Hira has the angle on the cross. It's a dangerous game that Thief is playing. He can only
There's the
steal away
A-link
so many
rotation,
kills. Yeah, look at Teddy.
Again.
Okay,
Is it gonna
that's
be
a
good
good
enough?
combo.
Is that even gonna come online? I feel like we're not even gonna be seeing it at this point. The kills happen so quickly. Kudos still hold on to the lead, where basically at this point, they need to go ahead and chill for a second. LG could easily rotate this over to A, where Kudos are not at all present. This
30
is still
seconds
very,
left.
very scary, and potentially, I think Kudos could actually snatch this one
Spike
away. There's no
planted.
Hunter's Fury. The only ultimate that they have to even worry about will be that neural threat, which, never mind, right on cue goes down. Boggs, this is kind of a situation that's slipping away from Kudos, which was looking so good for them.
It was looking ideal for Kudos, or almost ideal. That's a good way to bring it back, though. Jonah with one, but Thief on for the ace. Grabs it onto Zebroe in the end. And Thief is a star man for LG. So
Match
been
point.
that top class player that they needed to give them the life to pull things back in. And Luminosity now one round away from taking map number 1 and bringing us on to, I want to say, Bind. Yes, it is Bind. Map number 2. Fantastic stuff there from Thief. 26 and 10. Mada not too far behind, too, at 20 and 12.
Interesting.
KZ and Stellar, though, contrasting towards the bottom there.
One thing I want to note real quick is look how, like, even all the kill-death ratios are for Kudos. Like, I think their highest has 15, their lowest has 13 or something. It's, like, so even. Team play, man. It's one hell of a drug. Teddy is going to look to add another to his repertoire, but no luck. Aproto's in an advanced position, something that you have mentioned a number of times, being really what has been one of the stronger suits for LG. Kudos, kind of at the end of the rope at this point, will fight back with a trade. We're back onto even footing, about at the minute mark. Zebroe needs to stay alive. That is absolutely huge, but he's caught with his pants down, and yet he still has a chance to fight back just a little bit more. Eventually, KZ finds a frag and will actually do it double onto Fletcher. And we come down to a 1-on-3 for Hira to overcome. Knives in his hand and a lot of hope riding just to keep this map alive. Boggs, do you believe?
There's too many players watching this angle. Mada's working on the flank. Could just catch the timing. Does indeed. Hira hits the dirt, and Luminosity grabbed the first map. It was not exactly what I would call a clean one for Luminosity. In fact, anything but. But they are able to regain their crown on the map of Haven and return that to a viable map of their pool. Heavily, heavily boosted by Thief, though. 342 combat
sure.
score, 115 econ rating, 115 econ rating, Kieran.
Unreal. On a map like this as well, considering how close it was, 115 is, it feels like unheard of. I have to say, though, for the side, you know,